Football fans, Gooners, welcome to another edition of the Positively Uncensored podcast. I am your host, Shotta, and as usual, I have as my expert, my friend, Blackburn George. How are you doing, George?
All right.
You're okay?
Oh,
Well, some sort of. George
yeah.
doesn't want to admit it. He has been a bit under the weather. But George, you made it for the podcast. And I'm still awaiting the great Biso, but she is 6 hours behind our time. Well, at least my time. So she's even further behind your time. And I hope she will make her grand entrance later. Biso, hope you're hearing this. George, Arsenal-Tottenham yesterday. I'm just gonna say as a lead up to your reflections on the game, is that I enjoyed the game, unlike the Everton game. Time flew by, it was tense. But at the end of the day, I was disappointed in the result. I thought at home, with the crowd behind us, with all the money we spent over the summer, with them having 5 brand new players on the field, I went into that match thinking that we should win. What was your feeling at the end of the day?
Well, it's similar to yours. Disappointment that we didn't win. I thought we could have won, but it was a close game. We could also have lost. And although I think we were the better team over the 100 minutes, as it turned out.
Yes.
I think we were shaded it as the best team. And but, you know, we had a goal that was a massive deflection that was going wide, a penalty that was dubious at best. I think it was a penalty, but it could not have been. And Eddie Nketiah should have been sent off. That was a red card all day, every day.
Which one was that, George? When he
flew in on the goalkeeper.
With his studs raised. I was like, Christ, yes, correct.
Unfortunately, he missed him with that leg, but he got him with his trailing leg because he went a yard past him. He was totally out of control.
Yes.
And I think it was a clear red. How he didn't get sent off, I don't know.
You're right, George. I was there like, you got away, son.
You're not getting away with that very often.
Yes.
And nor should you. Nor should you. You could have snapped the guy's leg in two.
Yeah.
Easily. It was a shocking tackle.
Yes.
So, in some ways, we were a little bit lucky that both goals weren't goals, really, were they?
Well, the deflection of Romero was very fortunate. I thought, well, given the penalty that we got, was it somebody else got last week, where they said your outstretched arm was a pen, and I think you and I discussed it. And I said I was thinking it was not a pen, but once
I think under the current rules it's a penalty.
Yes,
but he didn't mean to handball. It was accidental handball.
Yes,
so in times gone by that wouldn't have been given.
No,
but they're given now, and we got it, so we take it. But I still think, to get it. Having said that, if he hadn't put his hand there, it would have gone in the goal.
Could be, yes.
So maybe.
Yeah, I was wondering if White had fouled. I think it was Madison. That obviously, when they looked at it, it wasn't. I didn't want what the debate was over, and then they called the ref over to the monitor. I was like, I say it's pen. It was a penalty. But yes, George, we're a bit fortunate. I agree with you.
But we're fortunate in some respects, but in other respects, for 35 minutes at the beginning, I thought we played really well. I've been seeing on Twitter people saying that's the worst game we've played since Arteta got here. What the fuck are these people talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's 100 miles away from how we used to play in the first 2 years.
Correct.
Completely different gravy. It was decent, not great, but it was decent for 35 minutes. And then for some reason they came back into it. I think they worked out that they could just lump the ball forward into the spaces on the wings, and that would put us in trouble. And it did.
Yes.
But we seemed to find the answer to that in the second half, and we came strong at the end. We were the ones pushing for a win. So, all in all, probably a draw was a fair result. And then we know we're disappointed, but I thought Spurs played well.
Yes, George, it's very hard for me as a gooner to admit it. But this not the old Spurs as a rollover. I mean, even because it could have been easily 2-0 when Madison turned over the ball in a very bad position. And Gabriel Jesus just simply blazed it over the bar. But they responded.
But we should talk about that. That was shocking.
Yes,
that was absolutely shocking. Not by Madison. He lost the ball. That happens. We saw it happen with Jorginho, which was also shocking.
Yes.
But they didn't miss, and they had a lot more to do when they turned the ball over than Jesus. He could have just passed it into the either side of the goal. I mean,
exactly what Son did on the Jorginho thing. He just passed it to the wide of Raya. It was unsavable.
What does he do? He blasts it into Rose Ed.
Yes.
You can't miss chances like that and challenge for the league. You just can't do it. They say it's a gift of a goal. Well, it's like saying, here's £100 and you go, no, thanks, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yes. George, the stats are very telling though, you say that you think that they did well, but how can I get this up? What the heck is on it? No, I don't want to remove it. There it is, George. Full screen layout. The stat that struck me is that they had more possession than us, evidently more touches and more passes. Yes, what do you think?
Well, what isn't up there is territorial possession.
Yes.
I don't think they have more of that because most, I'm not saying all of it, but most of their possession was in their own third.
And, especially in the first half.
Especially in the first half. And lots of passes. And I'll tell you what, they were fucking good at it.
Yes.
They looked better at it than us.
They were brave, George. They were taking quickly forward triangles, doing the one touch.
One touch between the defenders and the midfield and back to the goal. And I thought to myself, if they take this play further up the pitch, we could be in trouble later on in this game.
Yes.
And I said to myself later on in this game, because the way we were pressing, I thought, we'll tire here. After about 10 minutes, I thought, we're going to have to take Odegaard off. He'll just collapse. He was really running from player to player, 40-yard, 30-yard, 50-yard sprints, closing down. And I thought, well, when he gets the ball, he won't be able to do anything with it. He won't be able to run forward. He'll be fucked later on. Yeah. And I haven't seen his individual stats.
Neither have I.
But I think they're not good. Well, I think he only completed about 18 passes all game.
Yeah, I don't want to look it up in the middle of this. That will distract me. I'm easily distracted, by the way, George.
But anyway, I think his pass percentage was. I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but I think I saw like 40% or something like that pass completion, and he only made 18. He only had about 35 touches.
George, we were pressing up the middle, and as you said, he was running like a hare up and down. And he was, running from player to player. And they were like playing man to man, but he was like the free player. And yes, I wouldn't be surprised because that kind of running makes you ragged. It makes you ragged, simply.
He basically ran himself ragged, I think.
Yes.
And I wasn't at all surprised that it was ineffectual later on in the game because, Well, you just can't do that. Yeah, that's why Manchester City play the ball around like that and run the legs off of people.
Right.
But we're running our own legs off because it wasn't like it was being effective. We weren't turning the ball over in dangerous positions. They were good. They kept the ball off us.
Yes.
And it sort of wore ourselves out, really. And plus we'd had a weekday game as well. So
yeah, well, we played our second 11. I didn't get to see it, but the 11 that I saw when they gave the report on TV, we didn't play we played the main players, but not the same 11.
No, not exactly the same 11, no.
But George, you did say it, and our fans tend not to give any credit to Spurs, but it's hard for me as a Gooner to say it, but I was impressed by what they're trying to do. You told me that Madison gave an interview today.
He did.
Instructions from their
from the manager.
Kostikoglu. Pronunciation right.
Yeah. Let's just call him Ange.
Ange, yes, Ange Ball. Yes. Yes. No, George, I didn't expect much of them. That's massive turnover, hurricane gone. The whole,
Well, just let me tell anybody who's listening what Madison said. And it was very interesting. He's quite likable as well. I know everybody wants to hate him now because he's playing for Spurs, but he said the manager had said to them, we play the ball, we attack, and we play bravely, and we take chances. Mm-hmm. And if we lose playing like that, don't worry about it. That's on me. Mm-hmm. I'll take the heat. That's my fault. You go out and play the game. And I think that's what they did. Right. And he says it takes the pressure off them that, if they make mistakes, they're not going to get it in the neck because he wants them to take chances and play attacking football. So,
and the guy that Destiny, Udi something another, just the left back. He made a horrible cock up. He unleashed Nketiah, who's fired into the down into the near post, and the goalkeeper turns around as a corner. But he messed up. And he got a yellow card roughing up Saka, repeated fouling. But as the game wore on, he became more and more effective. And I was like, dude, where did you come from? Yeah.
Anyway, let's not.
Yeah, it's not a Spurs love fest.
No. But they're certainly improved, and they're certainly going to take points off quite a lot of teams.
Yes.
But they won't take points off Manchester City. And they did last season, but not playing like this. They played last season the only way you can beat Manchester City, and that's sit back and hit them on the break.
Yes.
And they won't do that this season. So that's not good because we need some fucker somewhere to stop Manchester City because it could end up at the end of the season, played 38, won 38, drawn none.
That's been going through my mind, George.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
I know they've dropped Lucky and that Kevin De Bruyne's got injured, so he doesn't play.
Yeah. Most people don't. You have kept banging this drum. I last time I said you took a victory lap on the Raya situation. And again, you must take a victory lap on the Kevin De Bruyne. Unlike conventional thinking, you think I
think he's a detriment to the team, yeah.
Yeah, you think he turns over the ball too often. You go ahead. Tell us what you tell.
Yeah, I think that for a team that you can't get the ball off, he just gifts it maybe 30 times in a game.
That's an exaggeration, George.
Well, he does. He spams the ball into the box, and then eventually somebody will get on the end of it because they're clever. They make good runs. They know he's going to spam it into the box, but he's not picking them out And they keep saying, oh, he's picked him out. No, he hasn't. He just spammed it into the box and somebody's made a good run and met it and put it in the back of the net. It's effective. It gives him good numbers. But I think they're a better team without him. I mean, the season they got over 100 points, he was injured all season.
Yes. And that little fellow that's taking over from him, the English lad,
Phil Foden.
Phil Foden. I mean, he's blooming. He scored the day before yesterday. He set up one. He's the
best English player we've had since Paul Gascoigne, probably.
You've been saying that, and nobody wants to take you on again, George. You've been saying that.
They don't, because they don't want to fucking say Saka's better than him. And then when they can say that if they want, but he's just incredible. He's control, way to pass.
His vision, George.
Yeah. Composure. He's got everything. And but anyway.
Yes.
And he'll only get better. He's only young and he's not been playing all the time and he's not been playing in his best position either.
Yes.
So City, I just don't. Well, I said it before the end. I said it 5 years ago. I just don't see them losing. You know?
George, they were down to 10 men on Saturday. By the way, this love fest continues, and they were tying with the opposition.
Well, they had a ropey 10 minutes, but after they settled down, they never looked like losing. And I mean, it was embarrassing how easy it was for them in the first half.
Yeah.
And so we play them next. Everybody was laughing because Rodri got injured.
Yes.
Well, no, he didn't get injured because he got booked.
Yes.
And he'll be out and he'll miss the Arsenal game. Well, now we've got Declan Rice out.
How long is he gone for?
Oh, I believe it's a back injury. And,
yes.
They don't clear up overnight, do they? Look at what Partey got a back injury. Didn't he? 10 games to go and never kicked another ball.
Yeah, you got to rest that back. Tell me about it.
We don't know whether Vieira got injured or not.
Yes, I was about to ask you that because he was just subbed. George, we spoke about that last week. He didn't look very effective, but I was not. I must tell people, I was not optimistic about him having a good role because he was being asked to play deep with Declan. This is not Vieira's game, and it turned out just that way.
He should have been playing more like Xhaka played.
Yes.
Last season, higher up. But I don't know whether he got substituted because he got injured or it was tactical substitution. But although he wasn't very effective, neither was Havertz. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, and imagine that Maddison was available for 45 million and he went for 65 million pounds. This is like
madness. We could have had him. We could have had Maddison and saved £20 million. And he's a much better player. But Havertz, I feel sorry for the guy because what is he? If you ask me, what is he? What's his best position? Is he a 9? Is he a false 9? Is he a 10? Is he an 8?
I'm nodding. I don't know. What is he good at? What is he good at, George?
Well, I'm told he's very good. I've seen people have been posting statistics today saying, why are you complaining about Hazard? Look at these statistics. And they're all defensive statistics. Oh. So many challenges, so many interceptions. You're like, fucking hell. He's not playing the Kante role. He's supposed to be playing the Ozil role.
Right, that's what I was going to get to. And this team yesterday missed Granit. It was, I mean, let's just put it this way. To piggyback on a phrase by the presidential candidate, I knew John Kennedy. I knew Granit Xhaka and Kai Havertz is no Granit Xhaka. He's not, I don't know. It's
no, but I tweeted early on in the year that we would miss Granit Xhaka badly.
Mm.
And I hoped that Hazard would be able to replace him adequately.
Mm.
But expect a lot of I told you so's if he doesn't. And I feel the time for the I told you so's is here. I said at the beginning of the season, if you remember, that although our squad was stronger, our first 11 was weaker.
Mm.
And you can see it. We haven't played, we played one good game this season, and that was against PSV in the Champions League. We haven't played well in the Premier League yet, as of yet. We haven't played badly.
No.
We've played decent, but it's not been as good, and it's not been as good because we don't have Granit Xhaka. He was a heartbeat of the team. People just didn't want to accept it. Oh, how many years were we reading that? Oh, we need to upgrade him. We need to replace him. Easy to upgrade him. Oh, fucking hell. Well, we're seeing how easy it is now.
Well, George, I'm going to say this to the
And
audience.
by the way, I don't blame Mikel Arteta one bit because Xhaka was off and Arteta went cap in hand basically and begged him to stay. And he got him to stay for another 2 years. And the team was dependent on him for 2 years, and he provided. And then he made the decision that he wanted to leave. He wanted to go to Germany. His wife, his family wanted to go back to Germany. So he got a good offer, a long contract, good money, and they said that he could go into coaching after his contract expired. It was a no-brainer for him to go.
Right.
So Mikel Arteta couldn't really stop him going. He'd already given him an extra 2 years. So I don't blame Arteta at all for this. But it would have been nice to keep him.
George, we're going to talk about man of the match.
Tearing it up in Germany as well, you know.
Absolutely. Yes, I saw a little of it. I mean, every now and then you get a little reporting, but I am not as I've not been closely following it, but I recall that there was a game in which he featured highly, scoring and doing
every game.
He's
bossing every game he plays in.
Good for him. I love the guy, but he was just so underrated and underestimated. But I was gonna say to you that's one of the reasons why I do this with you. There's so much. I don't know. There's so many opinions on Twitter that are not unfounded on reality, and people have agendas, and it's only because they get clicks for it. It's somewhat controversial. Not somewhat. It's just the fake Fox controversy. My wife would say four.
Right? I say it almost every week. There's no nuance at all now. It's like our player's either good or he's shit, and he needs to be out of the fucking club. I saw about somebody was tweeting about Reece Nelson today saying he can't dribble with the ball, he can't beat a man. Are you fucking kidding? He can beat a man.
But that was his strength. In fact, he over dribbled. Now they're trying to take that out of him, isn't? And
but imagine saying that. This is what I'm saying. People they just don't. I don't know. They just talk absolute bollocks. So do we, I'm sure. But
I was about to say that, George. Go ahead.
Some of them are
we chat bollocks, but I don't know, from the dint of experience, at least we know we're chatting bollocks. George, there's another comment that I saw on Twitter that David Raya blundered. I don't David Raya, if I speak Spanish. George, you agree with that? I mean, the first goal, there was a looping cross that was going to come on the bar. He got a hand to it, pushed it over. It bounced around between Canada players after Madison picked it up and got very nice square. And Son that shot that he took to score a goal was a shot of a goal scorer, a high degree of difficulty, George. What are they saying? I don't get it.
Well, I saw somebody saying today that he was at fault for both goals.
They're the one he clawed out.
First of all, the one that he clawed out.
Yes.
When it was a cross and it nearly went in.
Yes.
He was running backwards. Normally, they would tip the ball over behind for a corner, but he pushed it back forward. But that was because he was going backwards. How was he expected to put it backwards while he's going backwards? He did what he could, and as you say, for the second goal, nobody's stopping that. That was a fucking proper clever finish.
Right.
He didn't do anything wrong. He did a lot good and didn't do anything wrong. But there's probably people that want Ramsdale back in the team. For some strange reason, I just don't get it. I mean, from what I've seen, Ray is considerably better than him.
Well, again, it's another for debate because, I think you gave a stat which nobody seems to give. You said that Breyer is far more commanding in the air. You gave that stat last week. And the commentators are conceding that he's better with his feet. All the rest of them is just a bunch of, well, you shouldn't change your number one. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And he wasn't,
I tell you now, I'm not being funny, but if Aaron Ramsdale wasn't English, nobody would be saying a word.
Correct. I think you're correct on that. George, let us do our usual. We spoke about this. We spoke about Jorginho. I know that on your website, I think Eduardo in particular is very concerned that we fucked up on defense. Sorry, guys, for my French. Jorginho made a hash of that. You want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, it was inexplicable. It's a once in a lifetime mistake from a player of his quality. But he's come in cold, probably his first touch, and he probably thought he could, whatever he thought he could do, he wasn't able to do, and he lost the ball. But similarly, Maddison lost the ball to Moose. And then
Jesus, Odegaard who tackled him, by the way. Odegaard tackled him, yeah.
Oh, did he?
And,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's in the review. I picked that up, and then it came to Gabriel Jesus, and as you expressed your disappointment at his finish.
Wow.
George, man of the match.
It was pathetic. It really was.
Yes. Man of the match, George. I am going to agree entirely with who scored. I think that and I'm trying to get a view here that's better. I think that Saka. Where is this? I'm looking for. Is this it? Yes. I need to get rid of the banner, but I think Saka for his two goals deserved it. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on this.
Well, I think Saka deserved it in as much as nobody else did.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying people were particularly bad, although you would have to say Jorginho made a horrendous fucking cock.
Yeah, he gets something like 5.55.
Yeah, he's probably lucky to get that. But Saka played well until he got kicked out the game, and he should have been off for about 70 minutes. He was limping for the last, until he eventually got subbed with about 2 minutes ago.
Why did they give Gabriel Jesus a 7.0? I'm going to come back to you and me. And these guys, anyway, maybe they have some underlying stat. They do. But, what was he out of his game, by the way? Gabriel Jesus.
What do I think of his game?
Yes, apart from the miss.
Well, he's busy. He tracks back. He causes on. He's one of these players that looks better than he is.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean, George.
players,
But at the end of the day, George.
Players are better than they look.
Yes.
Oh, I've lost you now.
No, you're there.
You're not.
I'm not.
You're in and out.
The system is telling us to wrap up. But George, yeah, I would say that he's supposed to be a striker. They played him wide yesterday, and he didn't score. At the end of the day, this is what you demand from a striker.
Yeah, like I say, there's some players who are better than they look, and some players who look better than they are, and I think he's the latter. He does some incredible stuff, but at the end of the day, it's got to go in the back of the net, or it's got to be given to somebody who can put it in the back of the net.
There was, in the end of the first half, the commentators were saying that Son had only 5 touches, right? But one good touch he had, George, under pressure with 2 men around him, was a goal. Only 5 touches, George, because most of the players, you said, was in their third, so he wasn't seeing the ball. Madison couldn't get it to him, and our boy sees the ball and he doesn't score.
But he didn't drop in to get the ball. He was out of the game waiting for a ball to come, because that's how that manager wants them to play. He wants the strikers to stay away from the play. It's not their job. And unlike modern thinking, where defending starts with the attackers, everybody's doing that. He didn't, and then I suppose it leaves them. It leaves them fresh. Can you imagine if we'd have asked Arshavin to run back and cover the fullback?
Not at all.
The burst of pace that he had when it counted wouldn't have been there. It's.
And he didn't train well, by the way, George. That was reports he didn't train well.
No, you couldn't be further from the truth.
Yes.
He did train well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently he was the best trainer.
Okay. Yeah. I must have swallowed.
No, that was what people said about him.
Yes.
But the players, when asked, often gave him as the best trainer at the club.
Well, I would. No one should dispute anything report on Andrea Sharvin with you, because you were.
I know.
You would know. George, we're gonna wrap up now. We do 30 minutes. The Carabao Cup, I'm not covering that, as you know.
I couldn't come out and watch it.
Well, we have Brentford. I think it's Brentford on Saturday, right? But they say we have next 5 matches away from home, including
4 of the next 5. Yeah, I think so.
Wow. So that's stiff.
But we do play City at home.
At home, okay. Yeah. Didn't look at it.
So that'll be fun.
Yes.
We'll see exactly where we are when we
play. My fear, George, is that the invincible. My fear is that the invincible crown will probably move from North London. That is my fear. How about you?
Well, they could easily do it. They're just looking at it. They've lost all those players, those top players, Gundogan
and Mahrez.
And they look, and Laporte.
Yes, Laporte.
And they look fucking better.
Yes.
It's fucking horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
And like I said, De Bruyne's out for most of the season, so that's not going to pull them back. So I don't know. I just can't. I can't see anybody coming anywhere near them.
Yeah. Well, George, the only good tidings is that they have fighting for 3 or 4 real trophies, and that might affect them. Yeah.
It might not.
Anyway, George, it was nice talking to you.
You could win them all.
Yes. George, this one, I loved our discussion. I hope our listeners do. It was, I think we were fear. We weren't like the one-eyed genius who doesn't see the other side's prospect. Thanks for providing that additional perspective, George.
Okay. See you next
All
week.
righty, my friend. Next week. Bye. Bye, everyone. And remember to like and subscribe. I know we're not good at doing that, but please do. Thank you, George.
And comment.
And comment too. All righty, George. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.